Once upon a time, in a small village nestled beside a winding river, there lived a boy named Nam. The village was not large, just a few dozen thatched-roof earthen wall homes where people mainly lived off farming. Although Nam was only 17 years old, he was already the pride of the entire village. Not because he came from a wealthy family or had a striking appearance, but because of his rare intelligence and tireless diligence. Nam was an excellent student, always at the top of his class, and anyone who spoke with him could immediately sense his sharp mind, endless curiosity, and thirst for learning. However, Nam's life was far from easy. His family was among the poorest in the village. Both his parents were weak and unable to do heavy labor, so from a young age Nam had to shoulder the responsibility of providing for his family. Every morning, while his peers were still fast asleep, Nam would wake up early and head to the fields, with a hoe on his shoulder. He worked tirelessly under the scorching sun, plowing, sowing seeds, tending to each row of vegetables and every stalk of rice. Only late at night, when the moon was hanging high in the sky, would he return home and sit beside a dim oil lamp to study. On nights like those, his eyes often burned from exhaustion, but he never complained. Nam believed that only through education could he lift his family out of poverty. The entire village knew of Nam's situation and admired his perseverance even more. Every time someone mentioned him, villagers couldn't help but marvel, "That boy is truly a gem of our village. Smart, hardworking, and so devoted to his family. One day he's sure to bring honor to us all." These compliments were not only words of encouragement, but also invisible pressure weighing on Nam's shoulders, although he never seemed too bothered by them. As Nam entered his final year of high school, grade 12, the village's expectations grew even higher. The final exam at the end of this year was a crucial milestone, not only determining the future of each student, but also representing the pride of the whole community. Villagers firmly believed that with his intelligence and hard work, Nam would undoubtedly top the exam and bring glory to their humble village. The elders often said to each other, "If Nam ranks first, we'll throw the biggest celebration this village has ever seen." Younger children looked up to Nam as a shining example, dreaming that one day they might be like him. Despite knowing of these expectations, Nam maintained his simple and diligent lifestyle. He still went to the fields every day and studied by the oil lamp each night. Though he didn't have much time for studying, Nam made the most of every minute. He read books, took notes, and solved complex math problems on his own. His teachers at school adored him, often lending him books and offering extra guidance after class. Everyone believed that Nam would not let them down. Time passed quickly, and the final exams for grade 12 finally arrived. Nam entered the exam, room filled with both nervousness and determination. He had prepared thoroughly, and even though he didn't have as much time to study as others, he had confidence in what he had learned. During the exam days, Nam carefully completed each test, reviewing every answer before handing in his papers. When he left the exam room, he felt a sense of relief, as though a heavy burden had been lifted. But life doesn't always go as we hope. When the exam results were announced, the entire village was abuzz with gossip. Nam, their beacon of hope, had failed one subject. No one knew exactly why. Perhaps it was pressure, fatigue, or just a small mistake in the exam room. But that didn't matter to the villagers. Their admiration quickly turned into mockery and criticism. Harsh words echoed everywhere. "We thought Nam was so smart. Turns out he's nothing special. What a waste of everyone's expectations, failing an exam like that." Those who once praised Nam were now the ones criticizing him the most fiercely. Each day, as Nam walked from his house to the fields, he had to endure judgmental stares and mocking remarks. Some would speak loudly just so he could hear, "Hey Nam, retaking the exam yet, or planning to be a farmer forever?" Others sneered and whispered among themselves as he passed by. These words were like knives stabbing into Nam's pride. He felt ashamed, disappointed, and gradually closed himself off. He began to doubt himself. Am I really not good enough? Have I let everyone down? The confidence he once had now seemed to vanish, replaced by sorrow and despair. Unable to endure it any longer, Nam decided to seek out Mr. Tam, an old teacher whom he deeply respected. Mr. Tam was not just a man of knowledge, but also someone who had always offered Nam profound life advice. Sitting in the small house of his teacher, Nam poured out his heart. "Sir, I can't bear the villagers' mockery anymore. Every time I walk that road from home to the field, I just want to keep my head down so I don't have to hear them. What should I do?" Mr. Tam listened intently, his gentle eyes resting on Nam. After a moment of thought, he smiled and said, "Nam, would you like to try something? Tomorrow, take a large jug, fill it to the brim with water, and walk along that road. But remember, you must not spill a single drop. Can you do that?" Nam was puzzled, unsure of what the teacher meant, but trusting Mr. Tam, he nodded in agreement. The next morning, Nam did exactly as instructed. He took a large jug, filled it with water, and began walking along the familiar path. He walked slowly, eyes fixed on the jug's mouth, gripping it tightly to prevent any sloshing. All his attention was focused on keeping the water from spilling. Strangely that day, even though the villagers were still whispering and laughing as he passed, Nam barely heard any of it. His mind was entirely occupied with the jug. With each careful step, he reached the field without spilling a single drop. And at that moment he realized that he hadn't been bothered at all by the mocking words. That evening, Nam returned to Mr. Tam and shared his experience. The old teacher smiled warmly. "You see, Nam, when you focus on your own task, the voices around you fade into the background. Life is just like that jug of water. If you pour all your attention into your goal, the criticism and negativity won't be able to reach you. Do your work with complete focus, and you'll find that everything else becomes just a blurry backdrop." Mr. Tam's words were like a beam of light illuminating Nam's mind. He realized that instead of letting others' words shake him, he needed to concentrate on the path he had chosen. From then on, Nam returned to his studies and work with renewed determination. He no longer paid attention to the jeers and instead set clear goals for himself, striving every day. Gradually, he regained his confidence and continued to shine in his own unique way. Nam's story is a valuable lesson for all of us. In life, there will always be negative voices, difficulties, and challenges. But if we learn to focus on our goals, if we pour all our heart and energy into what truly matters, then those negative things will become meaningless. Be like a camera that focuses only on the main subject, letting everything else fade into the background. Stay focused on your path and you will find the strength to overcome every obstacle. If you found this story meaningful, please share it to spread the lesson of focus to even more people.